million views across platforms. Please give a future insider welcome to Stephen Nduku. Woo! All right. To the global audience. All right. So we're not playing small games here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. 2 million subscribers and features hit animated series like Tegwolo, Champion of War, showcasing the hilarious adventures of a witty 9-year-old worry boy. Passionate about the next generation, he also created Jenny and Kenny, a kids Afrofusion learning channel teaching nursery rhymes and positive values. With 12 years of storytelling through animation, Emeka continues to celebrate African culture and inspire Black creators. Please welcome, with a scream and maybe even a stand, Ajebo! Exporting your content globally and the art of collaboration. She's a filmmaker, a YouTuber, and co-founder of Any Production. A fan. She's gained recognition 2 years ago for her unique storytelling style. Her YouTube channel has featured artists like Rema, Asha, Don Jazzy, Thames, Victor Sime, Ira Star. In 2022, she was selected for the YouTube Black Voices Fund. In 2023, she made her directorial debut on the Victoria's Secret documentary, and this year she was featured on Rolling Stone's Creator Special. Wow. With a YouTube channel that has grown to over 300,000 subscribers in just a short time and 20 million views. Please welcome the one and only Corti EO! I'll tell them to go back. Are you ready? Through different, look at the kaleidoscope of experience.
Come on.
Real estate, animation, directing, storytelling, interviews, like where you want day where they no go no. Well, to anchor this panel session and moderate, please welcome back to the stage, May Baka. Put your hands together.
Account for that diversity so that we can give people different points of references to say that actually there's so many different types of content out there on YouTube and there's so many different ways to succeed. But like Adam mentioned at the beginning of today's session, everyone has an origin story, right? Everyone started from somewhere. They didn't just wake up and have 2 million subscribers. Steven, let's maybe start with you. How did you actually get started with your YouTube journey and posting content on YouTube?
Hello, hi everyone.
Hi.
It's always very awkward seeing a lot of people, but I'm just used to speaking to my camera. Okay, so how it all started for me. So I used to have a 9-to-5 job, and then I required only like 2 hours to get the day's job done, and when I'm done with that, I start watching a lot of YouTube videos. And then when I started studying these creators making these videos, and I realized that there's a whole business model around like these guys showing up every day to make these videos. And then I went start researching, right? And for the people I was watching at that time, they were using their videos, their free videos on YouTube to generate traffic for their business, right? So, because I used to be like a social media manager for people, so I then started using YouTube to teach people how to create Facebook pages, how to create an Instagram. I mean, this was like 2018, right? A lot of people then did not use Instagram for business or Facebook for business. So I started making these videos to teach people And then I started having businesses reach out to me because of my YouTube video. They will reach out to me to say, we see what you're doing, we'd like you to come manage our Facebook page or create an Instagram account for us. So that was sort of like the genesis to how I started. And of course, over the years, my niche has grown. I have tested a lot of things, and I'm just going to give you one of the things that I do now, which is travel. And how it started for me was I took a trip with some of my friends to a place called La Campana. I know most of you know that place. But La Campana, when we went there, it was not so popular, right? So I used my GoPro, I just did like a very short travel video. And just me and my friends having fun. And then when I went back home, I posted the video. I got, reasonable feedback. People were like, oh, work on this, work on this. But I was excited, like people did acknowledge what I did. And I was like, okay, so now I'm going to go somewhere else. Now I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's how we kept testing. And then the real estate part just came because I love properties, right? So for me stepping into this multi-million-dollar hotel, I was like, yo, so you need to tell me a millionaire is going to buy this house. So I stepped into it, I touched the kitchen cabinet, I went into the living room. It was like me living my childhood dream, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm going to teach it, I'm going to show people these things that I'm so excited about. So that was pretty much the genesis of how everything started.
Wow. Very interesting. I mean, like what you're saying now, it sounds like, you have the skill set. So you started in one way as a social media manager, you were building up your skills. But then after that, it just sounds like passion carried you through, right? Like you enjoy traveling, you enjoy real estate, and it's now reflected in your content. Ajima, what about you? Tell us, how do you go from 2 million subscribers on one channel is crazy, but you actually have 3 channels at the moment. So tell us, how did you get to this point?
Okay, hello everyone.
Hi.
It's me, Tegwalo, champion of worry. So Tegwalo is my story. I used to be a very stubborn kid. I was prayer point. And like literally, I dropped episodes and my mom would call me and like, I remember when you did this when you were 7. You did this. So it was my story, and I've always been a stand-up comedian. So I wanted to create skits differently, and I said I'll tell jokes with animation. Didn't just start, so that's how it started. And then I met an animator, and I'm like, I can make skits and we'll convert to animation. And then we partnered, and that's how it started. Yeah, collaborations. That's how it started. So we made the first set of skits. If you're familiar with the first set, Aboki puts bread, press don't tell her for me. She is your friend from London. Your friend from London. You know the first I never just posted it on. After a year, people started sending the skit back to me. This is so funny. I'm like, it's me now. Like, hello, it's me now. I say, come on there, Joe. I said, don't you hear? It's the house of Ajebo. You are calling me Ajebo, but you can't link it. Oh, and then that was like 1 year down the line. It was already, people had posted the videos everywhere, except my own page. I didn't have a page. So it was time to have my YouTube page, and that's how I set up my YouTube page. Posted the video, and then you cannot post only one and stop now. And they started making more. Few years when COVID hit, we just close eye and open my eye again, and subscribe. It was 120K pre-COVID. After COVID, like 1 year down the line, 1 million subscribers. Wow. People had started to follow the story, and and then we realized that the way the views were coming in, were like 15 million views a month, 10 million. Wow. This cannot be adults, because it's children that will keep watching and watching. They're like, you know what, let's do something exclusively for the children. And then we set up Jenny and Kenny. Jenny, if you don't know Jenny and Kenny, check it out. It's Jeni and Keni. What we've done with Jenny and Kenny is Coco Melon is everywhere, so we did our own version, right? Where we have taken all the nursery rhymes, we've made it African. Some of the nursery rhymes are in piano, some in Fuji, some Afrobeat basically. and then it's proudly Nigerian. The kids, it represents the African culture. You have the kids wearing Ankara, but then it's still very touche, you know. So we're taking it to kids ages 1 to 6, and basically we just evolved, and here we are right now.
Awesome.
Wow.
And Koti, what about you? How does Koti become Koti?
So I kind of like hearing his story, feels very intimidating. This man is a businessman. Well done. How did Koti become Koti? So my own, I guess, it's kind of different from both of these incredible men here. I was just frustrated from my job.
Yeah, that was our first video.
I wanted to explore everything I learned from. So to start with, I graduated school with a 3rd class, and obviously I wasn't going to continue my life trying to make my 3rd class work for me. So I had to find a way to work for myself. And so I stumbled on video production, video editing, and I was doing that at my job for a period of time. And on the side, I started to drop, in fact, I had a whole new YouTube channel, a different YouTube channel. I was dropping videos on YouTube channel and nobody was watching, so I deleted it. It doesn't exist. So it was called Koti Cut, right? Koti can edit basically. So I deleted it, nobody saw it. And then I went to learn, I went to start watching videos of like people that have kind of blown on YouTube, Mr. Beast, etc., how they started, how they did it. And I decided to, okay, let's leave this job for a while. If I try YouTube for 1 year and it doesn't work, then I'll go back to my job. So I left on very good terms, so that I could maybe go back. But you know, in 1 year, I didn't really need to go back, and I hope I will not need to go back at any point. So yeah.
Awesome. And so I guess, Stephen, let's maybe go back to you, right? I mean, the topic, the focus of this conversation is going global, right? And the art of collaboration. So let's start with going global.
So what happened was I got interested in stories, like international stories, right? Because then I started following people like Johnny Harris. I don't know how many people watch Johnny Harris here, but he makes like documentary style videos about like things happening in so many countries, right? So I wanted to start with the continent of Africa, right? Because as a Nigerian person, as a Nigerian YouTuber, I think that's the next market. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to West Africa first, and then I went to Southern Africa, and now we're just covering stories all around Africa. So I was like, what is happening in Morocco, or what is happening in Egypt, or what is happening in Cape Verde, or what is happening in South Africa that would interest my viewers and of course make me interested. So those kind of questions got me excited, and then I was like, okay, these stories might not necessarily entice my current viewers, but then what it did for me was it gave me more international following, right? So I have like, I think Nigeria only makes like 35, maybe 40% of my total following. I have like audiences spread out, especially Southern Africa, and I have like a very huge fan base in Europe and America as well. So this is, I mean, it comes off me I'm just a very curious person. As we are sitting here, I've just said what is happening in Zimbabwe, right? Or Cristiano Ronaldo and Mr. Beast did an interview, and that's what I was watching before I came up here. And I was like, okay, what are you guys doing in Saudi Arabia, you know? So just that, I just love things happening outside, and I feel like that's what people follow me for, because I just have my eyes everywhere. And really, the goal for my channel is to be like Johatab. I don't know how many people watch Johatab here, but he's a documentary filmmaker, and all he does is just look for amazing stories anywhere in the world. He goes on there, he films it. Funny enough, he's an Arabic creator, but obviously I think we're going to talk about it later on. with the YouTube dubbing and all, is able to make these videos for English speakers to watch and learn. So if you're going to ask me, that was really what made me, go into these territories and start making these videos. Just that urge for international information, pretty much.
Got it. So it sounds like it's just, can we get a round of applause for students, please? It sounds like it's just like following your curiosity, right? Following your passion again, right? And I think what's actually important, let's maybe take it to you, right? Because there's always this question of when you start, as you start to expand beyond your local audience. I know you've made in recent times, you've made videos about you in the UK. You've interviewed artists who may be of Nigerian descent, or maybe they have an international audience. So the question is, as you evolve and you grow as a creator, how do you maintain a certain level of authenticity while still appealing to a more diverse and global audience?
This is a difficult question, but I'll try to answer. I think that obviously authenticity and originality are synonymous, and one thing people don't really speak on is that as you grow, you have to change, and what you change into then becomes your authentic self. So who you were when you were 18 years old could have been authentic to a certain audience and to a certain people, but who you are now at 25 may no longer appeal to that audience, but that's fine. You don't have to now hold on to your 18-year-old self because that appeals to a certain type of people. When you are now this age or this person, that becomes the things you learn, the experiences you face, those are the things that kind of shape you, and as you grow, you just have to show who you actually are. Unfortunately, people might think, oh, this is not who I know, and move on, and that's fine. So I think if you continue to do that, the audience at the time will find you, the right audience at the time will find you, but you can't try to be stuck on being authentic because you started off as 18-year-old looking nice and all of that. As you grow, new people, new audiences will find you. The people that are supposed to stay, the people that are supposed to connect with you will connect with you as long as you are true to the fact that you are changing and you are moving as you're changing.
That's really interesting. That's a really good point, right? And it's actually, it's that duality of how do you remain authentic and original to yourself, while also understanding, I mean, we spoke a little bit before about the algorithm and the importance of getting that feedback from your audience and taking that into consideration, but it's like, you don't want to over-index on that, right? You don't want to take your audience's feedback as gospel and then lose that, authentic voice, or that what actually makes your content unique. And I think it actually, it comes back to storytelling, right? Like sometimes you can tell a very local story that has universal storytelling potential that can resonate with a global audience. So I think what you're saying is important. It's just being true to yourself first and letting that reflect in the content that you're making. So let's talk strategy, right? Like at your board, like I know you've been really intentional about taking on different strategies and things that will allow your content to resonate with a global audience. So could you kind of share with us some of those strategies that you've actually used to help your content to have more of a global appeal?
Okay, first of all, if you notice, most of the stories sometimes you just see Tigbola and Tiga, and then later you'd see his mom, Tigbola's mom, and then we have, one of the strategies I have used that worked a lot for me was not making it just about Tigbola alone. If you watch the series, you realize that it resonates with you, right? It resonates with the next generation because everybody had that childhood experience, right? Most of the stubborn things that Tigbola does, maybe when I was 9, I did those things. People of the next generation, when you're basically around that age bracket, you get to experience it. So everybody across generations and across the continents can resonate with mother-son dynamics, right? So I took advantage of that a lot. you know. And then if you the whole African mom thing about the slipper, you know, it has turned itself right. It's not only Nigeria, you know, it's not only Nigeria, you know, a lot of people can resonate with that mom thing after a while, you know, the correction of the mom. So we also did that. Another strategy that we've adopted to make it, you know, appeal to global audiences is we made sure, because at some point we started getting comments like, we love it, it looks really, people are laughing, it's funny, can you please translate? And, you know, we took subtitles very serious. We took the subtitling very serious. So even if you don't understand Pidgin, right, you can read English, right? So yeah, we took subtitling very serious. Another thing is we try to incorporate, you know, other countries in the communication. There's a time that Tigolo did a Jamaican song, for instance. He did a reggae song. There was a time that we had a series where Ogalanlo's daughter came back from the UK. I just got back, you know, and you know, she was speaking on the British accent, and Tigolo was giving her the Warri standard back to back. So if you're pretty cool, I just got back, you can understand that dynamics, right? So we try to bring in some of these other cultures in, and then try to use stories that resonate across board. You know, these are some of the strategies that we try to make sure that it's always in across the storyline, because everybody can relate with it. Yeah, so we go to keep it global.
And Stephen,
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example of how we're able to do it. So for us, I would say we spend a lot of time crafting out the stories, right? And I feel everybody watching videos, they are looking for stories to watch, right? We're not just YouTubers, we're filmmakers telling stories, right? So the right way to start with your video, as a matter of fact, like Mr. Beast was saying in one of his interviews, he starts his video production with a title. You start with your title and then work backwards like that. So regarding how you can make your content like appeal to an international audience, you have to go back and do your homework to find stories. And I'm going to tell you one out of the many that we did. I don't know how many people here are from the East. Anyone here from the East? All right, so I'm an Igbo boy as well. And growing up, my parents, instead of owning a house in the city that we were at, we first of all went to the village to build a house, right? And then when we were in the city, we were paying rent. So we as kids, we didn't understand what was happening. And every time I asked my dad what's happening, he'd be like, it's the Igbo culture, right? So fast forward now, I'm a creator, I'm like, okay, I want to tell this story. And then I was like, I'm going to set out on a 1 month adventure to the East. I want to understand why the Igbo people would rather build a house in their village first before, you know, in the city they are. Now, that story I knew had both a local and international audience, but I didn't know how far the international audience would actually do understand. So we went out, we did the filming, you know, a lot of these people would come and say, you know, we live in America and we just spent $1 million to build a village mansion. You know, it was very funny, and it meant, I mean, you guys go check it out. It means Akorona, which means if you're a wealthy Igbo man, you must build, for people to know your wealth exists, you must build in the village first, right? So when we made this story, we had a lot of people in Kenya and South Africa. They were like, oh, there's a tribe in our side as well. They almost practice the same thing. In Cameroon, yeah, there's another tribe. In Kenya, in South Africa, there's the people in Limpopo, they do this. So that was how the story started spreading. And then we had all of these European people coming as well. We got, I don't know, people from Europe, you know, they come in and be like, wow, this is interesting. Like, you know, they don't understand how all of this, because in December, Igbo men would rather want to go back home to spend. As a matter of fact, we're doing a part 2 for that video, so a lot of people requested. They were like, Stephen, you did not complete that story. So now we're going with the likes of Chief Priest. We're going to shoot like a proper part 2, where we're going to explain why the Igbo people love to leave the city to go to their village. So this story is what you can use as an idea whenever you're, crafting out something that is local. Every local person, even beyond Igbo-speaking people, they understood it, but it also appealed to the international audience. And another way we do this as well is, like you mentioned, subtitles. Like, for example, 2 months ago I got back from Egypt, and Egypt, their first language is Arabic, second language is French. So we knew there is no way an English-speaking channel like mine will come and do videos like we have these people watch. So we started dubbing our videos. So if you click on that video, if you're in a French-speaking country, you're going to hear French. If you're in an Arabic-speaking country, you're going to hear Arabic. So those are like some of the ways you can use to, as a Nigerian person living here in Nigeria, make your content appeal to the global audience. And that's the only way you can really, really see exponential growth as a creator.
So let's maybe take things in a different direction. So obviously we've spoken a little bit about going global, but we also wanted to speak a little bit about the art of collaboration. As a creator, there's so many different types of people that you can collaborate. You might have a team. You're working with people to help put your content together. You have potential brand collaborations. There's potential other creators that you might work with. In Koti's case, sometimes she works with artists as well. So Koti, let's maybe start with you. I'm curious to hear from your point of view, what role has collaboration actually played within your growth as a creator, and how do you actually go about choosing people, the right collaborators that align with your values and your vision as well?
I think collaboration for me, obviously, for people that know my YouTube, is kind of the bedrock of how I've kind of grown from one stage to another. However, it was a very, very intentional thing. So I grew up being very, very shy. I had so much inner boldness. I was very confident in myself, but I couldn't show that confidence outwardly. And so I made it my mission to reach out to people. So for example, the video I made about trying to find whiskey was me just trying to challenge myself. It was really less about having whiskey and more about me just stepping out of the comfort zone and trying something, or trying to work with someone that obviously is here. But I will say this though, I think I was very particular about collaborating with people that I looked up to, and I didn't really focus on collaborating across board, which means collaborate with the people who are in your same field, who are also growing as you're growing. You don't always have to go and target those people will find you. The more you collaborate, you guys can grow together. It's like collaborate across as opposed to, trying to aim for the top immediately. You have to kind of take steps. But collaboration is extremely important. Even two people that have a YouTube channel, both of you might have 100 subscribers each, but you might get 20 subscribers from both your channels. That's collaboration. It doesn't have to be so expansive, and that way you kind of grow your community to the point where, you reach the point where you are the biggest YouTuber in the world, and you can.
That makes a lot of sense, right? And I guess there's also value in collaborating because you get an insight into other people's process and how they do things. And so you're not just collaborating on the final outcome. You can actually use that as a learning experience. And if you can cross-pollinate your audiences in the process, then even better. But again, since we're talking about going global and internationalization and cultural differences, Ajabo, I'm actually interested from your point of view, when you've embarked on some of these collaborations, are there any sort of cultural differences or creative differences that you've encountered in those collaborations, and how have you actually navigated those challenges?
Okay, so first of all, we embody the African culture, and not just on the surface level where we're speaking English. They actually speak Pidgin. and AI don't dey translate pidgin. So like we've tried to do some collaboration, especially you mentioned something about dubbing. We tried to dub Tegwolo, collaborate with a dubbing company in London to translate Tegwolo into 20 different languages, 20 different pages across the world, you know. And the conversation was going very well until it got to the point where I said, wait, does your AI tool translate pidgin? Sorry, what do you mean by application? Oh, I broke in English, you know, so we now had to re-strategize. Now we're trying to broker that deal with a Nigerian dubbing company that will be able to do that, right? So it's also sometimes when we collaborate, when I collaborate, you know, I want to still retain the authentic Nigerianness of the content. I don't know if you understand. Like when you were saying something about the Igbo thingy, it just brought something back to me. When you are creating your content, you do not have to lose your identity or what makes you authentic. The world is interested in Africa. Know that and know peace. We've been watching Indian movies from childhood. Some of us now understand their language. But how did you understand it? By reading the subtitles, right? So just make sure that you're creating solid content, high quality content, and you're subtitling it. The world will come to you. The world will come to you. Right. Thank you.
I guess this question could go to everyone, but maybe let's start with Stephen. So, oftentimes when we think about collaboration, I think what we touched on it earlier, right, it can be quite daunting, you know, when you think you want to collaborate with someone, whether it's a brand, it could be another creator, to reach out to them, to make that step, right? So, what advice would you have for an aspiring YouTuber who is a bit hesitant? They want to collaborate with someone, but they just don't know how to take that first step.
Okay. Yeah. So collaboration it's a good idea. You can almost not go wrong with it. But then you would go wrong with it if you just started making videos and right off the bat you want to go and start collaborating with people, especially way bigger than you are, right? If you send me an email and I look through your channel and I see like you don't have any strong body of work and you want to bring me on, I'm not sure, except I know you personally or somebody introduced me to you, and that's my second point. The first point would be make sure you build yourself a portfolio, and by portfolio I mean start putting out those videos. The funny thing with YouTube is people don't know, you can do part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, right? I can make reference to so many creators right now that I got that idea from. So the fact you can do a part 1 and then the part 2 could be with somebody else, you can collaborate, right? So first of all, build yourself a portfolio, and then I wouldn't suggest to you to reach out to this person directly, especially this person is like way bigger than you. For example, there's a documentary I did that I haven't published yet about the skit making industry. So when I was going to do that documentary, I needed to sign on board all the biggest skit makers that we all know. My network is not that big enough to reach all of these people. So I started, I'll just go to their to the people that they are following. I'll look at how many mutual followers we had, and then I'll reach out to that person. I'll be like, please, can you help me talk to this person? And then even my partner manager as well, my backer, I was like, can you introduce? And then he introduced me to Ashagi, and you know we did the video. So you can always find a mutual, you know, somebody that you feel knows this person that can introduce you. But I feel the first point, which is building your portfolio, is very, very important. You need to have a body of work, and you know sometimes you might be lucky these people will reach out to you, but building your portfolio is pretty much the first thing, and then don't reach out to these people directly. If you know somebody, then I mean you can shoot your shot, right? But you know the chances of somebody with 1 million followers seeing your DM is very low, right? because even the documentary that I have done, that I interviewed some of these very wealthy people, I was introduced to them. And I don't know, that circle, you know, when somebody says, please listen to this person, like when I was going to do a video of B-Lord, I had to reach out to somebody in America to connect me to him. And he was just like, send him a message now. And I sent him a message now, and then at that time, and then he responded. So build your portfolio and look for somebody mutual, or you can shoot your shot as point number 3.
I think everything Steven says pretty accurate. The last thing you mentioned was shoot your shot, but that's the first thing I would do. Because I don't really process things, I just up and do. A lot of things I do are actually pretty, for lack of a better word, stupid, but they work out. So I think if you're a kind of person that can get up and go, if you're like, I want this person, I want Steven in my video, he's here right now, come to the stage, come meet him, tell him, I need you in my video, give me, I'll pitch to him immediately. Like, the opportunity sometimes creates itself, and don't miss it. I'm not somebody that knows how to misuse opportunities, so even if it doesn't go as planned, I would remove even 0.5 from it and make it work. So I think, yeah, shoot your shots, and take the other things you said as, you know.
Yeah, but I think what you said there actually, in terms of, was you're shooting your shot, you said pitch yourself, right? And I think within that, there's an element of understand what value you are bringing to the table, right? In any collaboration, in any walk of life, right? If you're asking for something, you want to present yourself, like what is your unique value proposition? What can that person also benefit from working with you? So I think always starting with that is a good way to increase the chances of that person actually being willing to collaborate as well. I think we'll come back to you, but I want to stay on Steven for a second. Let's talk about monetization, right? Because monetization is important, right? When we post on YouTube, I always like to say, there's 3 things that you're really looking to do. You're trying to get as much reach as possible. You're trying to build a community, so you're trying to get a lot of engagement. And then the third is revenue, right? You want to make money. You want to monetize your creativity. And so, in the context of internationalization and going global, Steven, I'm actually curious, how has actually reaching a global audience impacted your YouTube revenue and brand partnerships as well?
Okay, so first of all, a lot of countries in Africa don't have very good RPM. Everyone here is a YouTuber, right? Yes. Okay, so we all understand what RPM is. So Nigeria, lucky enough, has a decent RPM, but trust me, if you guys go to Kenya right now and do a video with 1 million views, you're going to cry, right? So I mean, that was also one of the reasons why we're like, okay, let's also source for stories outside Nigeria. And one of the contributing factors why Nigeria is only like 40 or 35% of my audience, because when you think about how much the advertisers will pay you, it's not even a lot. And the videos we make are very capital intensive. You can spend as much as 7,000 to 10,000 to fund a group of 3. So if you go do these videos and the videos don't perform, which means it's a loss for you guys.
Dollars.
Yeah, $13. So we start targeting stories that appeal to international audience. And I mean, it's left for you to go and do your homework and find stories that a lot of people in America will watch. So right now my channel is pretty much America, the UK, and then Nigeria. Or if I'm in South Africa, it's going to be America, UK, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and last, right? So you have to go look out for these places. Any European country, I don't know, there's a whole explanation. I feel you can go and watch it, because I was trying to ask somebody, they were like, yeah, it's because of what the companies they are willing to pay, right? There's a whole explanation. You can go research it for yourself. YouTube has nothing in that. YouTube don't really control. It just depends. It's like supply and demand, right? So for you that want to make money via AdSense, go and find somewhere, European or America or anywhere that can watch your videos. But I think some of the most successful YouTubers, and I think it's a very good story we'll learn, is these people don't depend on their AdSense, right? So as a creator, when you move to the next level, you now need to start thinking about products, right? You're out here doing fashion, you're out here doing beauty. There is something extra that you can offer to your audience that they are willing to pay you $1, $2, $5 extra to the already existing content that you're making. And for us, the way we started was, we're like, okay, so I just finished touring media on a 7 or 1 week itinerary, and I know people would want to get my itinerary. I mean, I made a video about it, but I'm not going to tell you the nitty-gritty. I won't tell you the tiny details, right? So if you want to get those tiny details, pay me $9, $9.99. I'm going to give you a PDF that you can use, and that PDF will show you, because most people don't know, like, you can travel without using an agency. A lot of Nigerians, I don't know if it's probably because we're just lazy like that, we just like to dash people money, but you can travel by yourself, you can do your whole itinerary by yourself, book your flight by yourself. So my travel guide will show you how to do that. And then, you know, when we travel to these places, I meet hosts, I meet a lot of people, so I also have their numbers, just in case when you get to that country, you need somebody who is going to direct you or show you how to book something. You know, you have all of that information in my travel guide, and then I charge $9.99 for it. So let me ask you guys a question. If you're watching my video, I did a tour in South Africa, and I'm telling you, pay me an extra $9, and I'm going to give you direct contacts of probably Airbnb owners or a host company that will host you all through, and then show you in details how I went from this place to this place to this place. Would you guys pay me $9 for that? Okay, so now you have to go back and then do your homework, right? Whatever niche you are, trust me, there is something you can give to people, right? There's something you can give to people that they're going to pay for it. So AdSense is good, but don't depend on it, because when you depend on it, you're going to get very sad. Sometimes you might even make a video and YouTube will put ad restrictions on it. Like, for example, when I went to Rwanda, I did a very excellent travel video that got like 2.5 million views. But guess what? Because I went to the genocide memorial site and I showed some of the incidents that happened in the 1995 genocide, my videos was demonetized, right? But lucky for me, the only thing I spent on that trip was probably my flight. When I got into the country, the guy that was there with me was able to take me to people that would be like, this guy's a YouTuber, please give him 50% off to stay in your accommodation. He's going to review it. We went to the car people, give this guy 50%, you know. So that was how, so I didn't spend so much, but then I sold travel guides. So in as much as my videos it was not demonetized, it had ad restrictions. And with ad restrictions, your earning is very limited. So I was able to make money, and I think my travel Rwanda video, the what's it called, the PDF should have made me, I haven't checked, should have made me, converting to Naira, anywhere around 10 million. Just selling like those $9.99 products, right? So don't depend so much on AdSense. YouTube got out a feature that we're now trying to work on as well. It's called the membership, right? Where you can offer people tiers of things, right? So please look into that. That's also something you could do. Trust me, whether it be Q&A, whether it be live stream, whatever you can give to people, just give it to them. The big YouTubers are doing it. Just go to their channel, look at what they're doing, and copy it straight. Hope that was helpful.
Very helpful, very helpful. And actually, there's a lot in what you said there. Actually, there's a part that you said about actually creative ways that you kind of make your videos work and get them funded. So the deals that you make with maybe the Rwandan, I don't know if it was the Rwandan government that you mentioned, the tourism board or whatever, and incorporating that into the deal to say, okay, help maybe cover my accommodation, and then I'll bring more visibility to.
Can I add something I didn't say? So how many people make travel videos here? Right? So before you travel, right? Now, it's always nice for you to go out, you're putting out the budget to spend this money, but try and reach out to tour companies. Trust me, these guys are happy to pay. But it's just that a lot of people are not reaching out to these people enough. So before you travel, I'm speaking specifically to the travel creators here, reach out to them via email, phone number, don't bombard them. You'll be shocked how many people are happy to sponsor you when you get into the country. So that you don't need to rely so much on, oh my God, how many views did I get? And you just focus on being a creative person. Because when your accommodation is paid for, when your logistics is paid for, when all the tickets to all the places you're going to is paid for, you'll be relaxed and you can make videos that your audience will enjoy. But when you're thinking about money, you can limit how many to make this money, right?
That's a good point, son. I guess from your point of view, I'm curious, are there any specific monetization strategies that you found have actually worked better for an international audience?
Yeah, merch, he already touched on it. So merch, the abroad people like to buy merch. I mean, the system works. It's easy to just use disposable income. You order, they bring it to your doorstep. It's Nigeria that we want to pay on delivery for everything. Nigeria is wired to frustrate you. Even the advert. You know, when people watch from abroad, they don't, the internet is there, light is there, so they don't used to rush to press skip. My 2 gig. YouTube pays for the adverts you watch, not the advert. So stop skipping. God help us in this country. The international audience, and that's why you see these guys rely on YouTube for their Nollywood films right now. They just sit down there and just watch. It's advert time. Let me go get some more popcorn. They just use it to do other things or watch the advert. So that's one. So another thing that works a lot, like I mentioned, merch. Another thing is brand collaborations. That has worked for me a whole lot. Brands just reach out, they want to, YouTube has given you the audience, right? It has given you the audience. Use it. You have to monetize them. Take advantage of, I have XY number. And you don't need to wait till you have 1 million subscribers. I have 1,000 people watching my page. And it's community, it's community. So it means that if you have 1,000 people that really follow you, it means that if you try to sell something to them, you should be able to get at least 10% conversion, right? So reach out to the brands if the brands are not reaching out to you. Jenny and Kenny we barely have 3,000 subscribers, but we already have brands reaching out to us, saying we want to reach out to kids, your direct audience. We want to, because I've gone beyond AdSense. There's something I'm doing right now because I waited for AdSense I've waited for 1 year. You know what I started doing? I got the Jenny and Kenny mascots and we wrote to schools and we told them we want to bring digital learning to classrooms. And some schools, we're going to bring kids. So we go with our mascots, go with branded bags, and we go to the schools and then we put digital projector. We stream from YouTube live, direct from YouTube, and and they watch it and we post it. And then now brands are saying we want to follow you to these schools because we're trying to reach out to parents of children in that age bracket. You see, there's money. The richest YouTubers do not rely on AdSense. That's one thing that you need to. That's for a fact. You must learn how to make those brand deals. You must learn how to sell something. Sell anything. If you don't have what you have, if you don't have something to sell, you can go broker a deal with something. Maybe you do beauty and all. Go to the company. Say, okay, if anybody come from me, can you give them a 20% discount or a 30% discount? You guys agree. You're doing your videos. Go to so place. You have a 20% discount, but you also have an agreement with them that for every person that comes from you, you get a cut from how much they pay. So there's always a way to monetize your audience other than AdSense. Thank you. One more thing that has worked for me is meet and greet. Recently I was in London I don't finish waiting Caribbean go there. I just posted. Tegbola is in London. I would like greet us. You know, I got a call from Stockholm. You know, and then they set up the show one to, and they paid us to come. Hello.
So actually, selfishly, I can ask a lot more questions, but I think we can open it up to the audience now for Q&A. So Aka, I'm going to give you the hard job of deciding who's gonna ask a few questions that we can take for Ponty, Stephen, and Ajabo.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for your kind words. So I was going to say when they were speaking about, I'll get to your question. So when they were speaking about monetization, that there's two kinds of, well, maybe not two, but two that I know of so far of people on YouTube, or that start out on YouTube. There's the artists, like you're a real creative artist, and then there's people that are more entrepreneurial, but you also have a creative side, right? YouTube can, however, turn you into an entrepreneur without you even realizing. So I think that for me, when I started off, I used to watch Fisaya Fosudo and Tyra, and they used to talk about how much they made on YouTube in 1 week, in 1 month. And when I started making money, it just wasn't matching up to that, but I knew I was posting as consistently as them, and I couldn't understand why until I started to do some research. But the thing they also mentioned, Ajabo and Stephen, about the power of YouTube is it has given you a platform, right? And it's now up to you to do whatever with it. So for example, I still till this day do not make as much as any of these creators. You know. I really don't. However, I have made up to $100,000 from one brand, right? And that is just from one partnership, and that's like there's many more. So I worry for you that a lot of Nigerian YouTubers get very fixated on RPM and all that. You are the content, this is you. Do you understand? So you have to kind of build on it. Even if, and I, to this day, don't even have as much followers, but I have credibility, and I'm going to keep building on that. To answer your question, I was hoping I would have answered it somewhere inside there. I think a lot of times when people say be yourself, most times you don't even know your own self to start with, right? So you can't be what you don't know. Do you understand? And you might think, in your head, you're like, oh, this is what I want people to see, but I'm going to be, I think the word authentic has been abused a lot, by the way. I'm going to be authentic, I'm going to be relatable. You just have to really, I don't know, talk to your friends, look at yourself, look at your journey, whatever it is you, and like you said, sometimes there's some strategy involved. Knowing what you want from this. It's not just, I want to do a blog. Why do you want to do a blog? I'm not going to sit down and watch your life. I don't know you, I don't know your mom, I don't really care. What are you doing that affects me? What are you doing that I can benefit from? I think you need to also think about those things, and when you think about it, ask yourself finally, am I happy with this, and does this also benefit me? Do you understand? Yeah.
Put your hands together for Corty. It's difficult to actually get people who can collaborate with you, who have quality cameras and quality drones to shoot proper quality videos. So when you started and when you were trying to create your videos, when you don't have all the money to buy the high-tech cameras, how were you able to collaborate with these individuals to be able to come up with quality videos?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your question is how I was able to use what I have to make videos for a start, right?
Exactly.
I really wish there was a screen here, so I'm going to show you guys the office that I was working at when I started. So I used to use my computer, the webcam, right? But I just make sure everybody leaves the office, right? So we do 9 to resume, 6 to close. So I start shooting my videos from like 6:30 in the evening, where everybody has left the office. So that was pretty much all I had, my stuff. But one thing you should know is, like, if you really want to compete at the global stage, you can't stay small, right? You can't start, I mean, at the base, story is what drives any successful video that is out there on the internet. Whether it was shot with an iPhone 6, like I always do this example. If, God forbid, a helicopter crashed into this place right now, and you pick up your, I don't know, your iPhone 5 and film it and tell a story of how you were here listening to these people talk about YouTube and then helicopter crash inside. Yeah. How many million people do you think would tune in to watch that, right? So I think you should stop focusing on the tools. The tools are nicer, it makes you look advanced, it makes you like excited, right? You shoot with this big I was like, bro, what are you doing with this thing, right? Right? It makes you look nice, right? But that's not what you should focus on. You should focus on stories. The real estate guy, I'll give you a typical example. Now, if you're a real estate, I believe you sell real estate. You sell. So, an idea that I'm going to give to you to do is, I'll give you an idea to do. Now, I want you to produce that video with your phone. Don't use anything expensive, which I believe, do you have any expensive equipment? Just leave your expensive equipment at home. Go out there and film a story about the problems, the problem with the luxury real estate in Nigeria. Take that as a topic and then go and do your homework and break that down into like a very nice content. I can tell you that is something that a lot of people would tune in. I mean, I have a much older demography. I have my demography will start from like 40 all the way to 65, because at that age you're looking at investment. So a lot of people here probably will not watch a lot of real estate videos, right? But trust me, that's a video idea that, irrespective of whatever tool that you use, is a story that the diaspora will watch it, I will watch it, people that are pretty much interested in the Nigerian real estate industry will watch it, and you're going to see first class how it's not about the tool that you have in your hand. It is a story. That same idea, I'm going to do it. So maybe if you shoot it, I shoot it. We're going to compare to see how it works out. But yeah, so what I'm just trying to say here is, please guys, focus on I mean, you can go and look at, go and study Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is not a very good example for everybody because his content is very diverse, it's very different. But inside whatever he does, he always shares some key strategies that can work across board. So I'm going to challenge you guys, before you go out to film a video, a lot of people would go out there, shoot a video, and then they're thinking about the thumbnail when they're done editing. No, you start with the topic first. What are you trying to address? What topic are you trying to address? Who do you think is interested in this story that you're about to tell? You write it, you write the structure, and just a tip here, I don't know if you can take notes, there's a platform called Spotter Studio. So it helps you can put the title. Let's just say you think about an idea you want to make. You can put the title, and then you press generate, it's like an AI platform. It's going to generate for you the structure for the video. It's also going to generate for you a thumbnail so that you can have an idea of what your thumbnail should be. And then it's going to also show you the creators that have created similar content. And then you can compile, let's say, 10 of them, and then you go and start watching. Now, most of this content, they could be European, American. Pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things and bring it back home and make a Nigerian authentic story. One last example I will give you guys is, I don't know how many people saw me driving on the streets of Lagos with a Lamborghini. Did you see that? Now, that was an idea that I took from an American YouTuber. I was like, oh, well, this guy is not in Nigeria. So I was like, how will people respond to if you order for an Uber and I pull up with a Lamborghini? So I was like, that seems like something that a lot of people will want to watch, right? So I exported this content from America because that kind of content is mainstream in America. Not everybody is going to drive their Lamborghini Chevy Star. So the content was all about just making people smile. Because when these people get into my car, I make them comfortable, I make them relax. Sometimes they try to play, I'll be like, you know what, take the money, go buy yourself Coca-Cola. They laugh, we drive, you know. So look out for those content that you can export, bring them here to Lagos, and make these videos. I don't know. I'll just speak to my. I hope I made sense.
You do.
You did make sense. You made a master class. Sir. Please put your hands together for. Put your hands together for them, guys. You guys, I know you have more questions. We apologize for running out of time. But it's because it's for you. We're curating it for you. We don't want you to, get tired. It's 5 minutes, so we need to move on. Or 5:30. So, all right, guys, don't worry. You send them emails, reach out to them later. Ajabo, remember, where is that lady? Here, come.
Bring the card now.
Yes, bring the card now.
Yeah.
Bring it, please. Ibaka, please put your hands together for me, Ibaka.
1 second, please. Is it only that I know how to shoot their shots? Please open your phone and subscribe to Jenny.
Straight up.
It's a new channel. We have this 3K subscriber, so it's mad, amazing. JENI and KENI. Open your phone now. Subscribe.
Let me tell you something. One of the keys to becoming
And don't skip ad though.
Watch out. One of the keys to becoming a successful YouTuber is number one. You cannot have shame. Shoot your shot is shot. So please follow Jenny and Kenny. Subscribe right now.